We feel like the Outlander is almost done.
I feel the rain a-coming.
The following program.
Modern style.
Now, how long ago, could you put this on perspective, how long ago did you shoot this first episode? How long has it been?
Over a year ago.
My God.
Yeah, we started the 14th of August last year.
Wow, yes. And then we had to do some ADR on it as well, actually, at some point, which is when you put the voiceover on top
Additional
of it.
digital recording.
That's right. Quite recently, and it's kind of mad when you see it, like a year later, and you're like trying to remember what was going on.
Well, can you go back to the battlefield and talk about what it was like shooting that? Because a lot of explosions, dirt flying.
We were all very excited to shoot Culloden. We've talked about it for 2 seasons, so it was good to finally get to do that. And a lot of the people involved, the extras, we have this great sort of reenactment group who work with us, and they were all really excited to do the battle. And it's something, it's very, very much part of the Scottish culture, Culloden. We're all very aware of it, so it was great to finally get a chance to bring it to screen.
Now, Caitriona, when you start the scene, walking across all the dead people, I know you told me, besides the fact that you said that you heard people snoring while you were doing that, which is an incredible story. Beyond that, one, how cold was it when you did that? And was that literally the first scene that you and Sam did together for the new season?
Yeah, I believe so. It wasn't that cold because it was it's cold always in Scotland, but it was...
You weren't lying there for days.
Okay. Yeah. Darling, let me tell you. No, it's... I don't even remember what way we shot things because did you start the season or did I start? You started.
I started,
yeah. So, that would have been like the first week shooting, I guess, wouldn't it?
I think it was towards the start of the second, because we'd done a lot of the fight stuff, slowly developed into the evening stuff when it was dark.
Yeah.
And then I remember you coming in, and that snow, and
I just remember thinking, Claire walks through the battlefield and wakes Jamie up, and I was like, gotta be 2 hours work, 3 hours work? Yeah, I'll be done by lunchtime. Flash forward 12 hours later. I'm like, really? You want me to walk again? It was one of those things where you can never think you have a half day ever on this business.
One of my favorite parts of that, actually, and it's Ron's script, is the rabbit. It's just such a weird little fact that James sort of, in his deliriousness, sees this rabbit. But we shot the rabbit at the end of this season when we're doing pickups. So,
did you?
Yeah, so we had this studio set up. So we had some fake dead bodies on the ground, and I had to pretend or try and remember what I was doing. And then we had this little rabbit running around. He would never do what they wanted. So it's my favorite day.
Was that Tobias laying on you for hours on end, or was that just some extra?
Lots of people. I've had a lot of people lying on me, actually. I had Tobias for a couple of nights lying on me. And then...
You had to have had fun with that, too. It's like, dude, you're heavy. I mean, what was that like?
It's very intimate. He does this thing. He does... definitely does I think it's getting into character.
He's very committed.
Yeah, it's I think I don't know. There's an animal there. I don't know. And then we had a lot of stunt guys as well, obviously doing that as well. So yeah, it was a long time, but I loved that whole end sequence with him. When we worked on the fight, the end fight with him for, a few days, trying to get that watertight.
Well, I asked about the timing because I don't think it's a spoiler, but we're going to go for a few episodes, and you're going to be apart. After you did that scene, how much time apart did you have from appearing with one another?
Only about 2 weeks.
Really?
Because we shot the Boston stuff, and then our next block, we actually started with the very last scene of episode 8. which was a bit of a head turner for all of us involved. Sometimes in TV, depending on actors' schedules or locations, you have to pull things forward, and we had to do 1 and 3 together, and then we did 2 and 8 together. And so, yeah, we did a bit of time on that.
Yes. It is funny how we jumped around so much. It was, kind of weird you have to be really in control of like where you are and where you're at, but I think it works.
Yeah, and then it was another while again, and then because I guess the next block we shot 4 and 5 together, so we weren't together at all for that. Yeah, I didn't notice the time at all.
Thanks. No, there's definitely, when you're working, and we've worked together now for so long, that there's just something missing, and we share the same makeup truck, and there's just an energy on set, and it's very different when your co-star isn't there. And but this whole season as well, it's been very different, and actually every season. But we're saying goodbye to a lot of actors and characters that we really love. So it has been a sad season, but also very exciting because we have a lot of new characters coming in and new energy as well.
Could we do a little time travel? Could you go way back to the beginning when you first began? Can you recall what your first impressions of one another were? Caitriona, you first. What did you think of him?
I remember I was running a teensy tiny bit late, which is never a good thing for a test. But I just remember Sam being very calm and very, just very sweet, and he was just very friendly, and there didn't seem to be, I've said this a million times, but some people you walk into a room and they're very posery and they've got a lot of ego and there's a lot of posturing. That didn't come till much later with him. So in the beginning later, he was very, very sweet. How things change. But yeah, no, I just remember him being a very calming influence, and it was very helpful when I walked into that room, and I was very nervous because he'd already got the job at that point.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was.
You're like, who is this chick?
No, I just remember we did the scene. We've probably talked about this a lot, but the scene by the water in season 1. I can't remember what episode it is now. I can't remember. 9.
Thank you, everybody.
I'll go with that. 9. But it's just a very big scene of the book, and they basically gave us the book to sort of do. It was, I don't know, like 7 or 9 pages or something. It was a big scene, and it got very physical, like it tends to on this show. Yep. And I just remember, she was so pissed off with me for putting in her bear hug, and
that was acting. I wasn't pissed off. I was acting.
Oh, that's acting. That's good.
When was the last time you saw the pilot? Are you have any interest in going back and watching that?
Before it came out, I suppose. Yeah, probably when we. Yeah, but it was probably right before it aired. I saw it.
Yeah, I was watching. I think I've told this story at Comic-Con, but I was on the plane to Comic-Con, and Virgin Atlantic have Outlander on their media system, so you should probably all fly Virgin.
Thank you, Virgin Atlantic.
So,
fly Virgin Atlantic and revisit Outlander.
Yeah, so there was a woman watching the first season, and she was watching, I think, what episode was it? It was maybe 4 or 5, very early on, and I was watching it just going, oh my God, over her shoulder, going, it feels like another person and a long time ago. It feels very different.
What have you learned about your characters in the course of that time that you didn't really obviously know? How much more do you know now about the folks you play?
I think when we started, yes, you start from a place of, okay, well, this is what I think this person is, but you haven't gone through any of the experiences. You can amass as much sort of background information, and you can kind of try and be like, right, I think we're going to do this, and I think we're going to do that. But once you live through scenes and you live through the experiences, it informs everything you do afterwards. So, it's just a continual process of learning and growing, and hopefully we have a long time more to go, and we'll get to know them more and more as we go along.
Yeah, I think they surprise us, and this season is no exception. It's very different. It was amazing to discover who Jamie was or is without Claire. So that was interesting, but it's strange, isn't it? Because every time we get presented with new scenarios by our writers, or it's in the book, but there's always this like struggle internally with us going, would they do that or would I do it? And then you have to find like a place where you ultimately allow the character to do what they would do, and you have to justify it, and then you learn something about the character and go, why did he do that? It's stupid, but ultimately that's the character, and so that's kind of interesting.
You two are in this elite club now, actors on massively successful shows. So if you had the opportunity to compare notes or ask advice of a Kit Harington on Game of Thrones or an Ellen Pompeo or Grey's Anatomy.
You, Jon Snow.
Wait, did you hear what he said? Okay, if you're at a dinner party with these people, what experience would you share with them? What would you talk about?
I've just been shooting on a movie, and my makeup artist works on Game of Thrones, so it was just interesting to talk to her about how that runs, and it's just the similarities, I guess, are quite interesting. But it would be lovely to sit down with those people.
I think I have a friend who's on a long-running show, and I sat and I was talking to him it's almost a year ago now. But I think it's how do you retain the freshness season after season? I think that's something that you always try and strive for, that you never really want to rest on your laurels, and you never really want to just do the same thing over and over again. You want to constantly feel like you're being challenged, and that retains your interest and that retains your excitement about a character. And I think it's always interesting to hear people who've done it before, how they go about it, and how do you make sure that you're doing the best job you can do and getting as much out of this experience as you can, because it is very rare that this happens. And I think we're very aware of that. We're definitely very fortunate and we're very lucky. And I think you just want to make the most of those situations when they're presented to you.
I was wondering if any of you had any questions.
No?
None.
Okay.
There doesn't seem like there's many.
All right.
We got some microphones going around. Go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to start over here. Go.
Hello, thank you so much. Ooh, my voice sounds so bad.
You gotta say what
You can hear yourself. It's
weird,
weird.
isn't it? Yeah.
By the way, let us know where you traveled from too.
I traveled from Astoria, Queens.
Yay!
Okay.
And so far. My question is for both of you. I'm curious to see, for every episode, about how many hours do you guys have to shoot? Because I know it's probably like 50 pages.
All right, can somebody do maths really quick?
Not me.
So we generally shoot, 12, sometimes 13 days an ep, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
We double bank.
So that's, then that's 11 hours shooting, 12, no,
12 hours shooting days.
12 hours shooting.
Unless it's a 10-hour day.
Yeah, sorry. So 12 hours shooting, 12, 13 days a week. Someone can calculate that because I can't do it.
But then they go over sometimes.
So we actually, in comparison to a lot of shows that are shot in the US, a lot of network shows or a lot of shows that are shot here are generally on an 8-day schedule. So we do have the luxury of more time. I think that's partly because the nature of our show, we don't really get to run 2 units at the same time. I think also we shoot outside a lot. That also, and we just like to put a lot of effort into what we put on the screen.
I think the prep as well, on like a modern TV show, I think you could probably turn up, an hour before and get your hair and makeup done, and you're on set. We have so much. We're in hair and makeup.
Takes a long time to make him Jamie Fraser.
It does.
Next question, over on this side.
Moving on.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and I live in Harlem, so not a far away. If you could appear on Broadway, what role would you want to play?
Ooh. Does it have to be a musical?
No.
It doesn't have to be a musical, just something I can market.
I would love to do The Lovers, a Harold Pinter play.
Oh, that's great. I could be...
Do you want to do it together?
Yeah.
Should we do it?
You know, the second half of the young couple on the hill, I could be the really young kid. He's like 14 or something. Yeah, I think I won't.
I think you've passed that.
Yeah, I think
babe.
I'm past it.
It's like,
Next question over here.
Hello, I'm Lisa from Iowa, so a little bit further away.
That's far. Flight.
Soon to be Alaska, so a little bit further.
oh, wow.
Yeah, my question is for both of you. Many of us in here get the story from the books or from Davina Porter or from what you guys do, and we talk often about how we have different Jamie and Claire. We have a book Jamie and Claire, we have a Davina Porter Jamie and Claire, and then we have you guys. When you guys read the books or audiobooks or however you choose to digest that material, do you imagine each other or do you have your own Jamie and Claire?
That's a legit question. That's a completely legit question.
I don't know. I mean, I read the books.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't think I've thought about it. I mean, I don't think they're not us. I don't know who they are, but they're different people in my head. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you answer the bloody question.
Well, no, yeah. Fine. She's a lot more mouthy in the book, isn't she? Like, shut up.
Careful.
Shut up. No. Jamie's.
Do you go through going my bit, my bit, my bit?
But basically.
her bit.
Is that going to be my day off? I might have a day off then.
Day off.
Day
oh,
off.
damn.
Oh, fighting again. Oh, scars. Oh.
Thank you, and thank you, Sam, for MPC as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This side over here.
Hi, my name's Gretchen. I'm from Pennsylvania. And hi. I would like to know, when you first signed on for Outlander, were you prepared to stick with it for many years to come, or did you expect that you would be renewed for season after season? Do you have any idea?
I think, I mean, I don't know. Well, we signed on for quite a few seasons when we signed on, but you always do that. You know, I think before you even are given the job, they're like, it's just standard practice. They're like, and if we decide to give you this job, you're going to have to do it for this many years.
Oh, of course, yeah, I'll
and
do
you're like,
it.
yes, just give me the damn job.
Yes, of course.
But you just have no idea. Like, you've no idea how anything's going to be received. I didn't even realize we were going to be shooting for longer than a year. I remember getting an email from my lawyer, and he was like, you do realize you're going to be there for a year, and it's in Scotland because I lived in LA. And I was like, yeah, it's great. I don't care. I'm going to do the job. And then you're like, wait, that's a year? Like, I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing has been just kind of crazy, hasn't it? I mean, I think every season, I think it's not going to go again. It's not going to go again. And I know, it's going again. Oh, it's going again.
But you don't know,
Because
and
you
you
s-
never want to take anything for granted.
And as an actor, I think you're always prepared. You're always prepared for things to change because you never know in this job. And so I just think every time we start a new season or a new day or whatever, a new episode, it's
You're like, tomorrow's never going to happen.
if I just get through today. No, we just feel very fortunate. It feels like something very special.
Hi, I'm Cindy from Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. Yay!
Yay,
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
And a peaker since 2015. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is for both of you. What was it like shooting the Entertainment Weekly cover with Reuven Affinata? Was it great or what? I love him.
Adore Reuven. He is an artist. He has the most gentle demeanor. he creates this lovely space where he just goes, and just a little here, and just a little there, and you're like, oh, I'll do anything you ask me to. It was beautiful. I mean, it was just a really beautiful day. It was before we started shooting any of the South African stuff, so we just arrived.
The costumes are brand new, right? It was the first 2 days
that we got to South Africa.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
They've got their own little Caribbean town and a little fake.
You've got the motorway going past.
Yeah,
It's very odd.
but it was incredible, right?
Yeah, I think it's a great look to the show and very different to what we've done before. So thank you, Entertainment Weekly and Reuven.
Thank you, Entertainment Weekly.
Yay, thank you for the
Well said.
contest. Yay, thank you.
The standing up woman in the back going nuts. There you go.
Hi guys. I'm Stephanie from Setauket, Long Island Outlander fans. Woo, we're live
Oh, Stephanie.
audience. Hi guys. I'm really curious. When you finally, Sam, were able to stick that sword through Blackjack, finally after 2 seasons, and Caitriona, how did that feel? I mean, did you like feel it inside? Because it's been something that's been, you guys have been like playing, like kill him, no, wait a year. It's been a big thing. So I just want to know what your feelings were about that.
They wouldn't let me put a sword through him. But I tried. I did punch him in the face, though. I didn't mean to, but no, it's a great end to that story, and I think this triangle between the three of them has been kind of the start of the story for us. So it was really sad to say goodbye to Tobias in that sense. I mean, he was still hanging around as Frank, but it was just so fun, and I think it's a really weird world that they go into in this episode. It's almost. They've been fighting for so long, and it's almost like Hades or something, and suddenly everyone's not there, and it's a very strange place. And ultimately, they both almost die together in an embrace, and I think that's really messed up. And I think it's Diana Gabaldon, thank you. But yeah, I think it's a very worthy end.
I have a question about the outfits you guys wear. You're in 3 seasons now. You've gone to different countries, and now you've worn many outfits from different countries. Which one was your favorite so far?
Yeah, for me, the kilt. I mean, not to, it's like Scotland for me is the character, and that is something I've really enjoyed. And the progression away from that was like hard to swallow, but that's the period, and also that's the story of what happened to this culture. So it's sad to say goodbye to it, but also exciting to see where these characters go. And the costumes have always been a reflection of the character as well, and that's been amazing by Terry and her team that they've told the story through the costumes.
One of my favorites, I think, is and it's probably one of the least glamorous, but the dress it's the tartan. It's kind of the tartan navy and green dress. Yeah, because it feels like that's Claire in Scotland, and that's so representative of who she is. It's very bold, but it's sensible, which I like about it. No, it just really represents her, I think.
Hi, Tina and Ellen from Chicago.
Hey.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Ellen.
We flew in from the Windy City this morning. And so here's my question. It's about your process. I mean, you can't have personally experienced all these emotions that you portray. So what are your processes to find that within yourself? I mean, and it could be different for you, and I'm curious how you get where that needs to be.
I think it's a number of different things. It depends on the scene. It depends on what's required. I think my favorite part or my favorite thing about this job is that I get to daydream and pretend that that's work, which, makes up for a huge amount of my childhood when I would get given out to for daydreaming and not focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing. And now you get to just live in your imagination, and that's, I think, where a lot of you play out scenarios and you just go into a dream world, and that's where I find a lot of stuff. But I also, I like to read. It depends. Sometimes it's a piece of music that will bring you to the place. As an actor, you're an observer of people and human behavior, and I think you have to just keep your eyes and your ears and your heart open to what people are going through, and then you can try and understand and put yourself in people's shoes, and that's what we try and do.
Good answer.
Well, thank you. No.
I mean, God, that's such a big question. But I think this season, Jamie goes through a lot, so that was really exciting for me to be given that challenge. And how do you go to those places? I mean, each episode was different, and he's in different stages of grief, and I don't know, it's funny. As you said, I think there's different things. There was an image in my head for some of the scenes, and then others, something else. So music too is also kind of evocative. I don't know, you have to find the thing, the little trigger exactly for each moment.
Well, I think with everything, you can only understand it through your own funnel, I think every situation that you live through can be reflective or can be a reminder of something else. So, it's empathy. So when a friend is telling you a problem, you may not have gone through the exact same thing, but you can empathize and you can be like, wow, I kind of know how that feels, and you can put yourself in that situation. I mean, acting is a lot like that. I think empathy is probably the biggest key to being able to understand people.
And it's liberating as well.
I'm so sorry.
No, Lynette.
We have to wrap. But there's one other thing I wanted to ask of you. Ellen DeGeneres holds the record for the most retweeted selfie. I think we should try to break that.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind posing with them for a selfie. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.